This is Algebra 2, Chapter 4, Unit 6. Today we're going to be solving quadratics with perfect square trinomials. So let's do a warm-up. Sorry for the print, it's a little small to get all the work on one screen. But our first one is we're going to solve x squared plus 14x plus 49 equals 4. So we go ahead and we see that 49 is a perfect square. So the square root of 49 equals 7, and we know that 7 times 7, or 7 plus 7 equals 14. So we go ahead and we factor these, putting x plus 7 and x plus 7 in two separate parentheses, and we still have our equal sign, or equal 4. Next, we go ahead, since we have two of the same, and we're multiplying two of the same factors, x plus 7, we're going to just go ahead and square it. So x plus 7 squared equals 4. Now, in order to solve this, we're going to take the square root of both sides. So we take the square root of x plus 7 squared and the square root of 4. When we take the square root of a number that's squared, it just gets rid of that the exponent of 2. So it just gets rid of that squared exponent. So we're left with x plus 7 equals plus or minus 2. Now we want to go ahead and solve for x. So we go ahead and subtract 7 from both sides, and we get x equals negative 7 plus or minus 2. In order to solve for x in this case, we have that plus or minus, so it's plus or minus. So we have to do two separate equations where we take negative 7 plus 2 and negative 7 minus 2. So when we take x equals negative 7 plus 2, we're going to get x equals negative 5. When we take x equals negative 7 minus 2, we're going to get x equals negative 9. So our solutions to this quadratic will be x equals negative 5 and x equals negative 9. Now, I would like you to solve number 2 on your own. Go ahead and pause the video while you do that, please. Here is the answer to number 2. X is going to equal 3 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 5. Now let's complete the square. Okay, it is possible to take any quadratic equation, create the perfect square trinomial, and solve it in a similar way. This method is called completing the square. So steps to complete the square, there are going to be 6 of them. We have the first step, we want to rewrite it as a times x squared plus b times x equals c. Then we want to divide both sides by a, so it becomes x squared plus bx equals c. Next, we want to complete the square by taking half of b. Then square it, and then add it to both sides of the equation. Fourth step, we want to factor the perfect square trinomial. Then we want to take the square root of both sides, and this will create two cases because the square root has both a positive and negative value. Solve both equations. To solve both equations, you want to simplify all irrational and complex answers. So let's look at some examples, because right now that's a bunch of words, but let's actually visualize what happens. So number 3 on your packet should be x squared minus 18x plus 56 equals 0. So we want to go ahead and we want to move c to the right side of the equal sign. Okay, so how do we go about moving c to the right side of the equal sign? Well, we subtract 56 from both sides. So once we do that, we have x squared minus 18x equals negative 56. Now we want to divide b, so 18 is our b. We want to divide that by 2. So we have negative 18 and divided by 2 equals negative 9. Then we want to square that, so we get negative 9 squared equals 81. Okay, so this is us creating the perfect square. X squared minus 18x plus 81, because we got that from this step up here, equals negative 56 plus 81. Now remember, whatever we do to one side of the equation, we got to do to the other side of the equation too. So that's why we're adding 81 to both sides. So on the left-hand side, we have x squared minus 18x plus 81. We notice that we're trying to factor this, and we notice that 81 is a perfect square. But does the factors of 81, does 2 factors of 81 or the square of 81 equal negative 18? Yes, if you have x equal x minus 9 and x minus 9, those equal negative 18, and when you multiply them, you have positive 81. Negative 56 plus 81 will get you 25. Now we can just go ahead and shorten this up a little bit by saying x minus 9 is just squared, okay, because it's the same thing as that, equals 25. And what do you notice about 25? Yeah, it's a perfect square. So we're going to next take the square root of both sides. So when we take the square root of x minus 9 squared, we really are just getting rid of that 2 exponent. And when we take the square root of 25, we're getting plus or minus 5. So we're left with x minus 9 equals plus or minus 5. Now we go ahead and solve. Okay, so we're going to take 9. We're going to go ahead and add 9 to both sides to solve for x. So x plus 9, x equals 9 plus or minus 5. Now to solve for x itself, we have 2 different cases where we take 9 plus 5 and 9 minus 5. So 9 plus 5 equals 14. 9 minus 5 equals 4, and there's our solution. X equals 4 and 14. Number 9 on your sheet, we have x squared plus 12x plus 43. This one we want to move c to the right-hand side of the equal sign. So we go ahead and subtract 43 from both sides, and we are left with x squared plus 12x equals negative 43. Now we want to take b and divide it by 2. So we get 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Our next step is to go ahead and square that, 6. So we get 6 squared equals 36. So now we're creating the perfect square. So of our equation, we're going to add 36 to both sides. So we get x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals negative 43 plus 36. This is something right here, knowing how to find the perfect square is something that's going to follow you through algebra. So it's very important that you maybe replay this part a few times, kind of drill it into your brain, because it's something that's going to follow you, okay? So we have x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals negative 43 plus 36, because we added that 36 to both sides. Now, when we go ahead and simplify it, we notice that we get a perfect square, or 36. So the square root of 36 is 6, and we notice that 6 plus 6 equals 12. So it satisfies both b and c. So we get x plus 6 times x plus 6 equals negative 7. Now we can just cut out a step because we're going to go ahead and take the square root of both sides, and we get the square root of x plus 6 squared. Really, this the exponent of 2 cancels out with that square root and equals the square root of -7. Well, from the imaginary numbers unit, we noticed that we didn't really like having a negative under a square root sign. So we're going to go ahead and get that negative out of there by taking the square root of -1 and the square root of 7. So the square root of -1 equals what? I. And the square root of 7, well, we're just going to leave that as the square root of 7. So we're going to be left with x plus 6 equals plus or minus I times the square root of 7. To solve for x, we're going to subtract 6 from both sides, and we get x equals -6 plus or minus I times 7. Well, can we really do anything further with this one? No, because it's not like terms. So we are going to go ahead and say our solution is x equals -6 plus or minus I times 7, the square root of 7. Now, I would like you to try numbers 4 through 8 and 10 on your own. Go ahead and pause the video while you do those, and then go ahead and come back to check your answers. Here are the answers for numbers 4 through 8 and 10. Go ahead and pause the video while you check your answers, and if you need to do additional work or ask me, that is perfectly fine. Now, I would like you to do homework number 6 in your homework packet, please. And that is the end of this unit.